The home of UK drum and bass. It's Fabio on Radio 1. Fabio. The sound of Fabio on Radio 1.
yeah. Many thanks, many thanks. Chris Goldfinger, reggae dancehall specialist. Does his thing each and every week between the hours of 12 and 2. It's Fabio filling in for the rider. Kicked off the show with a tune that is going to be one of the signature tunes of the year. Commix. Be true. Right, we've got a lot of things popping off on the show tonight, so with no further ado, gonna give you a little bit of this. Loads of tunes bouncing off tonight. New Vapor, new Calibre. Some exciting stuff guaning. Going to be telling you more about what's coming up in the show straight after this. Loving this little remix of Shy FX Plastic Soul. It's dBridge. It's Fabio. It's Radio 1. Saturday night, Sunday morning, baby. This is how we do. This is how we flow. This is how we flex. Yeah. Wicked. The sound of Plastic Soul, the Shy FX. Big tune from a couple of years back. That's the dBridge mix. And one of the reasons why I played that is a tenuous link into the fact we have got the mighty Bad Company in the house tonight. They've reformed. They're going to come on and they're going to do their thing. That's Bad Company. Up in around 20 to 25 minutes time. That's the whole crew back again. They're going to be spinning a few old school bits, some new school stuff. Bad Company, baby. We've also got more of your Facebook shouts. 1,600 deep. That's sounding good. The freshest tunes. We've also got the return of the official 1 Extra and Radio 1 chart. That's going to be cracking off. Going to be in the mix. As I said, got loads of new tunes to play. We're going to have a good time. It's Radio 1. It's Fabio. Big tune. The sound of DJ Dye, one of my favourite DJ producers. And a remix of a track that never got released, actually. A chap called Jabberwocky. Love the old kind of funky flavour on that. Big shout to Dye. Also to Clips. Watch out for Dai's new label. That's going to be popping off real soon. That's going to be big for 2008. As I said before, we have got Bad Company. They're in the studio. They're reformed. We're hoping to have them here and doing their thing in around 20 minutes. As I said before as well, we've also got the 1Extra and Radio 1 chart coming up. And we have got another 150 members since last week on our Facebook account. Yeah, man, big things are going on. So I'm going to read out some... These are all the people that have been selected because they've all been added in the last week. So big shout going out to Martin Waters in the West Midlands, Barney Bow in Brighton, Ryan Mackay in Tuscan, Arizona, John Regan in Cambridge, and Jazz Core in London. Not forgetting Phil Lidstone in Vancouver, Alice Birtwell at the Mullion School, Ben Halford in Plymouth, my old mate Robbie D. Yeah, Robbie D from back in the day, one of the original MCs. Good to see you showing us some love, dog. Also Luke Proctor in Manchester, and finally Catherine Ashton in Wales. Remember, if you want to join, go into groups and look up Fabio and Groove Rider. So let me start again. Go to groups, look up Fabio and Groove Rider, locked onto Facebook, and click on the join button, and you can be part of our family. That's right. Oh, I've got some wicked new Calibre bits. I saw him last week in our Bristol. He gave me 2 CDs with about 33 tracks on. So, like, a serious selection process has been going on because they're all wicked tunes. But about 2-3 tracks from forthcoming album from Calibre next year. Watch out for that as well. And another guy that's made big inroads this year, been loving his stuff, Lomax, and alongside his partner Kubiks, there's a track entitled Do Me Right. It's Fabio, it's Saturday night, it's Sunday morning, it's Radio 1. This is how we do.
Fabio on Radio 1.
What a tune. Love that. Love the vibe on that tune. Lomax and Kubiks. Track entitled Do Me Wrong. Coming up next, after the next tune, we have got the new reformed Bad Company in the house. You don't really know who Bad Company are. They were like pre-Pendulum. They were the first real drum and bass band. Had massive hits like The Nine, Planet Dust, and tunes like that. Huge tunes. In the late 90s, early 2000s, they changed the name, the face of the game. Changed the name of the game to Bad Company. So they're going to be up after the next tune. Good to have them in the house. dBridge, Maldini, Vegas, all the mans. They're going to be here representing. Remember, it's Fabio FM. It's Saturday night, Sunday morning. We're just cracking off some beats. Another one of the many wonderful tunes around. This is a tune I'm absolutely feeling. Little thing entitled Between Two Worlds. We have got the charts coming up later. Last week's number one, let me have a butcher's. Last week's number one was Simon Bassline Smith and Harder. The little tune called Disco Dodo floating around though. Yeah. Blow my own trumpet because I can. We're going to see if that enters the chart this week. Some aim and pressure. Send this to everyone who attended Herbal last Sunday. Man, it was special. Big shout going out to Dillinger. Big shout to Clayton up in the piece. Big shout to Brian G, to Jumping Jack Frost. To all the family. To also shouting Big Marlon. To Zara and Pro. Real family, real people. Peeps that got your back each and every time.
Radio 1.
Track entitled Between Worlds by a guy called Telmo A. Got very little information about that. I think it comes from Germany. Big shout going out to O Lightwood and everyone else involved with that tune. Alright, we've got something special for you tonight. Something that hasn't happened for a little while. I don't know if they've done it especially for the show. I doubt it. I doubt it very much. But in the house, we have got, you know, we talk about legendary and we throw that word around a lot of times, but these guys have made tunes that still absolutely ruin the dance floor, and they're called Pendulum. Not really.
No. Thanks. Close.
No, that's a joke. We've got bad company in the house, man. What's up, guys?
What's up, Fabio?
Yeah.
Easy.
Right, like, we're going to get names going, so like one by one introduce yourselves.
I'm dBridge over here.
Easy, Dave.
Easy.
Yeah.
I'm Maldini. It's Vegas. Fresh.
Wicked, man. Now, listen, this is a kind of real meetings of minds, because you guys are kind of like legendary in putting together some of the great drum and bass tunes of all time. So, you know, it begs the question, what is the cause of this reformation? What's going on? Why have you got... Is it kind of like a Spice Girls kind of thing, or...
Possibly.
No, but what's the reason for the kind of...
We all got bored and we thought we'd hang out together again.
But listen, let me just start you off.
Yeah.
On a serious one, that you guys kind of went your separate ways. Did you guys have a kind of longing to do something like this? Have you thought about this, or is it one of them things that just kind of came together?
Yeah, it kind of flowed together over the last like 4 months. Like we had a lot of tracks that were unreleased that a lot of people were like asking for us to release. So yeah, we've put out a re-release of Inside the Machine with like a compilation of all the old stuff we didn't put out before on this Lost and Found CD, and yeah, there you go. So we all thought we'd get back together and talk about it.
So are you guys going to go in and do any things together, or is it just is really kind of you getting together, getting the whole kind of backlog going on, or is that kind of like not even been spoke about yet? It's just kind of like
it's been spoken about.
Yeah, it's been spoken. Actually, Dan and Jay went in and did like a little fiddle of the old Pulse tune that came out on Groove's prototype.
Okay. Pulse, big tune, man.
Yeah, big tune.
Yeah, they've it has been talked about, but it's still undecided as of yet.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still undecided, shall we say?
Right. It's because, well, you know, at the end of the day, you know, anyway, let's go back, and because, you know, a lot of people have come into drum and bass in the last couple of years. You know, they know the 9 because they hear it everywhere they go, and you know, they probably know very little about Bad Company. So how did you guys actually form in the first place? How did you guys get together?
I reckon, Dan, you should tell that story.
Well, because it's the most controversial. Both. Right, here we go again. Sorry. This, you know what? Every time we've done an interview for the last 10 years, this question always gets asked. Yeah. So we always argue over who's going to recount.
Well, you can answer it, Fresh.
The short version is that I met Michael through MC Moose, who I was working with. Big up Moose.
All right.
Big up Moose.
Yeah.
And big up Kenny Ken.
Big up the Kenny. Yes.
And I met Michael, who was working with Moose. He was working out in Japan as a promoter. Moose had worked for him. Moose thought we'd get on really, really well and had similar musical tastes. So we met each other, got on really well, got in the studio. Round about the same time, I was making a couple of tracks as Absolute Zero for Renegade Hardware, and have met these two characters, Maldini and dBridge, who had been really helping me learn how to engineer and mix down, and that was a really important sort of hook up for me, really helped me sort of get to grips with how to make drum and bass sound right. And one day we just all met together. I think there was some kind of drama going down at Hardware. Doesn't really happen very often, that, does it? It was a special time. So,
allegedly.
Yeah. So we thought, well, you know, let's set up our own thing. Let's try and start our own label, and that was BC Recordings, and the first release was the 9, and that was the end of that.
Listen, now that I did not know your first release was the 9. That is incredible, because that tune is still. Did you have any inkling that tune would be that big in 2007? Because it's still one of the biggest tunes on the dance floor, man. Did you?
You know what's really weird about that tune, mate? I remember when Andy used to play that track, and for a couple of years after I gave it to Andy, or for the first year and a half, it was a big track that he was playing and quite a few people were playing, but it actually seemed to really blow up well after it got
for
released.
Real?
You know what I mean?
It was definitely
vinyl,
yeah.
So and it's still a big track, and I sometimes go on the boards and I get people joking, do you reckon you got Fresh playing tonight, do you reckon he's going to play the 9? none of us can seem to take it out of our boxes, man, but I guess that's a good sign.
Yeah, but it's a classic tune, man. It's one of them tunes that it will always get played because it's a real drum and bass tune. It is a kind of very
standard.
It's a standard tune, and it tears the dance floor up because it is what it is, and it's instantly recognisable. Right, now listen, we're going to play the first track from you guys, and who is this track? Give us a little bit of detail on this.
This is a track by Maldini in Vegas. We did it with the Upbeats. It's part of their album that's coming out in February.
And who are the Upbeats?
Out there.
They're
guys from New Zealand. We've put them on the label about 3 years ago and built them up to an album, which now has got a video for it and loads of artwork, and it's getting a lot of love. So yeah, big up the Upbeats. You're going to do well 2008.
And what's this track called?
This track's called Deadbeat.
Okay.
Maldini in Vegas and the Upbeats.
Wicked. We have got in the studio the Mighty Bad Company. Back after this.
It's Radio 1. Time for your drum and bass injection.
sound of the Upbeats. Is that a remix by Maldini in Vegas? Yeah.
No, that's a tune we all made together. Maldini in Vegas, Upbeats and Sylo in the house. Deadbeat. There you go.
So, the next phase. What was the name of the first album that you guys did put together?
Inside the Machine was the first album.
And you know, it was a different time back then. I mean, for a start, record sales, you know, used to make a lot more money. I mean, you know, the scene's changed a lot. What do you guys feel about the scene at the moment? Do you feel it's changed for the better? Do you feel it's changed for the worst, or you know? I don't
know. I think a lot of people are going to have different answers for that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, for me, there's some good elements, and there's a lot of. It's just very separate at the moment. It's not as united as it once was, I think.
Yeah, not like Music House days.
But I kind of
used to link up.
But united in many different ways. I think it's just an indication of its size. Do you know what I mean? That there's so many different sort of subgenres and factions of it now that each one can sort of stand on its own.
But do you think though? Do you think? I can see. I come from the aspect that I think that's the reason why drum and bass has lasted so long, because you've got so much subgenres, and you know, whilst at the end of the day it's separated things, I think it's kept that longevity as well.
Well, yeah, keeps it interesting.
Keeps it interesting, and I think out of every genre as well, there's little factions you can take and use as well.
I think you'll probably find drum and bass is like, it's one of the maybe few scenes that can actually fuse with any other sort of genre.
It embraces all music.
You know, whether it be ragga, rock, you know, electro, anything. It's just like you can incorporate a different style within its basic elements, which is the drum and bass. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
Step at 174.
That was fresh, by the way.
I was just saying what everyone else was thinking, mate.
No, for real. No, most definitely. But do you think that the music is too fast, or you one of the believers that?
Nah, and it's there for a reason.
I do. At the moment,
it's too fast. 174, it got there because people dance to it at that pace and they feel that vibe in the club. So
yeah, but it's just, I don't know, there's not much room for anything. It's just like you're just trying to cram things in, aren't you? So it's not, for me, there's just not that much room to breathe with them when it's so fast. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of prefer it a little bit slower. I don't, you know, it's.
You sure it's not a thing that is like because you're getting older, you want it?
Maybe it is because I'm getting older and I can't keep up with it. Do you know what I mean? But I'm just like, you know, I'm going in. It's like sometimes you go out there, you go and playing, and then you're going on after someone, and you know, okay, we're using CDJs now, and they've got up to plus 10 on them things, and it's like some man's rinsing it out, you know. It's like I can't come on at them speeds, so I usually clear the floor because I've, you know, reset the pitch. You know what I mean? But it's, I don't know, man. I think drum and bass has always had that. It's slowly crept up its speed. You know, I remember when we would do, it was like when I first started, it was like 158 was, you know, and then
for real
through the 60s, and now it's sort of topped out at 180. Some people are doing their stuff at, but you know, I suppose it's each to his own. But personally, like I said, I'm too old, so I like it a bit slower.
But you know what? I tell you what did you guys actually find it quite difficult working? Because you're very individual. You're four characters, aren't you? Really, and you're very individual. Was it? I mean, looking back now, you must be sitting there and thinking it must have been a whole ball of fun. But did you guys have crazy times in the studio, like mad fights and stuff like that? Or did it get more like that towards the end? Or you know,
it was like that from the off, mate.
Yeah,
it was a mess from the off. To be honest. You know what I mean? Do you know what it's like? Dan was always quite the production heart of it all, and Dan and Jay and Mick. It was. I don't know, it was just like Bad Company it could be any combination of us, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
for real.
It's kind of rare for all of us to be in a studio, I mean, but
yeah.
I mean, usually it was like combinations of, I don't know, two people, you know.
Exactly, 2-3 people.
With Dan was always there. The studio was at his house.
Exactly.
I was clever.
Yeah, he was clever. He got the big house, put it all in there.
So, wake up, tune will be done, and it'll be on in Andy's box by the time we've
recorded it. Just before we recorded it, yeah, Andy.
Oh man! Listen, we've got the next track coming up, and dBridge, you selected this. So what we got here?
This is Nitrous. And this was on Inside the Machine album. This is us lot alongside Trace.
Wicked, man. And speaking of Trace, do you guys hear from Trace anymore?
Do you know what? I haven't heard from him for ages.
Yeah, for a while now.
Spoke to him a few weeks
Because he was a major talent, a major talent.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, straight after this, we're going to be talking about your influences in the game and so forth. It's from the album
Inside the Machine.
Inside the Machine. Track entitled Nitrous. Didn't Dillinger do a remix of this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sick, man. We've got Bad Company in the house. More after this.
This one's for the bass heads. It's Fabio.
Radio 1.
Radio 1.
you have just joined us, we have got Maldini, Vegas, Fresh and dBridge in the house, otherwise known as Bad Company. From the album Inside the Machine, the wonderful Nitrous. I'll tell you what's amazing, man. None of the tracks have aged, man. They sound so fresh and, you know, Planet Dust and all of them tunes, man. None of these tracks have aged in the slightest.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Personal favourite tracks. I want to go by you individually. Your personal favourite. What about you, dBridge? What's your personal favourite Bad Company tune?
That's hard. Nitrous is definitely up there. Either that or The Fear. I like a lot.
I've got to admit, I've got to say 4 Days, because of like certain experiences with that tune, certain clubs just getting obliterated and people passing out in front of us, Darren and stuff. You know what I mean? Andy dropped that tune in the end, and like some dude dropped on the floor in front of us, just kind of like rolled his eyes back and went bang. Like, too much being.
That's when you know you got a good tune. What about you, Fresh? What's your favourite?
Probably either Planet Dust, Colonies, or Pulse. Probably. I think I'd say Pulse.
Yeah, I'd say Pulse as well, because what that did at that time.
I just remember hearing Groove playing that on the radio, and it was kind of just after we made the 9 and 4 Days, so we were on a bit of a run. We weren't sure whether we were going to be able to keep it up, and the reaction to that tune was just like, I mean, I don't remember ever making a tune that's had that effect on the scene, man. It was like for about a year afterwards, everyone was doing that same trick of high pass filtering, you know, stabs into the drop, and it was a crazy time, man. It's really cool.
Do you guys feel that there's still a room for experimentation in drum and bass, or do you think?
Yeah, of course. I think like certain people hit barriers and they can't like progress.
Yeah.
But like back in '94, people thought that was the end, and it can progress from there. And look at it now. So it will always progress.
No, for real.
It will never get stuck.
What do the other guys think of that?
I think as long as there's people making it, do you know what I mean? As long as there's new kids and new producers coming through, then it will always, you know, move in a direction. It may not move in a direction that some of us want it to, but, you know, it's just like, it's the next generation, they take it on and make it their own. Do you know what I mean? So I think, I think there's definitely room for it to go in just other directions. You know, it's like, I think it personally, there's like, the sort of 97, 98 was a big influence for me on within the scene, and you know, it could have gone on from a completely different direction there. It's taken certain paths and roads, and you know, I just wondered what it would happen if it had gone down another road, says. But you know, where we at now, and you know, who knows what's going to happen.
Ever the cynic. Ever the cynic.
That's me.
A right, real positive spin on the thing. But so what, you guys were going to do a live thing at one stage as well. I would have loved to have seen that, even if it happened.
Yeah, so would
did you guys? Did you guys ever do that? Do the stuff live?
Yeah, we did it like on your show. Yours and Groove's show live thing, remember that?
Yeah,
we got all the computers out and the keyboards and all that. That was as far as it went.
That was it.
I think that's when we started properly like
falling out.
Yeah, we was going to kill each other.
Yeah. So now let's talk about the falling out. You know, it's all a bit kind of like, you know, but you know, a lot of water's gone under the bridge now. Everyone's a little bit older. What was the main cause? Was it just everyone was pulling in different directions, which I can imagine, you know, like the Beatles, like any group, that happens? Or was it that you two the four of you got to a stage where you just couldn't really stand each other anymore? Or was it a bit of both? Because I mean, it can be said. I mean, it ain't no biggie, man.
I think we've all got our different reasons as to why it has, and you know, I think a few labels. There was when vinyl distribution probably had a big impact on us. Do you know what I mean? It was like that when they went down, you know, a lot of our money went down with it as well, and it's like that's naturally going to have like a negative
adverse effect.
Yeah, definitely. Do you know what I mean? It's like
we basically didn't get paid for 2 of the Bad Company albums.
Yeah, and they were the biggies.
Like 3 years' work. We just didn't get paid for any of it. I mean, thank God we were DJing. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean that probably created a bit of stress.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that was the reason why we stopped. I think the main thing for me anyway, from what I remember at the time, was that each of us we were starting to, you know, we worked together a lot, and we were starting to want to explore our own directions. And if you listen to our stuff now, you listen to say what Darren's doing and what I'm doing and what those guys are doing, it's so different. You can imagine, you know, having people where you've worked together for 5 years and it's like, well, you know, I really just want to do that without being told
Yeah, yeah.
Don't do that. Do you know
Don't
what I
put
mean?
that sound in it. It sounds crap.
Yeah.
Just leave it in and put it all over it.
Yeah. Like I'd be like, Darren, take that Rhodes out. And he'd be like, Fresh, take that electric guitar out.
You know, you could start off in the studio, be one step, and wake up and it'd be a different step. Would be 6 steps. That was Dan's
I
classic
remember
trick.
that happening, man. I remember you waking up and being like, you
Squared it off again, innit?
it's gone back to the step.
But you know the thing is though, with 4 people, when you actually get it right, you have some classic moments.
Yeah, it's quality
which you
control.
have got. And you know, of course, you know, sometimes it doesn't work, but I can guess with 4 people, like a live band or whatever, once you get it right, you know, it's verging on perfection. And you know, some of the tunes you've done, as you know, Planet Dust, me personally, I think that is one of the great drum and bass tunes of all time. I remember when Ryder played that the first time, the response to that tune was like, and I think I can't remember who I asked, I don't know if I asked Fresh for it or I think I got it off Ryder, and I think one of the guys said, you know, what are you doing playing this? I'm like, it's a big tune.
You know, I've got to say something about that tune, mate, because that actually was probably very indicative of the problems we were having at the time. Because that tune was one that I think I made that totally on my own, that track.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to noise up the person responsible, but if it was up to one of us, that tune would never have been heard by anyone else's ears because we just didn't agree on whether it was a good tune or not.
Who was that? Was that me?
Blow up time.
I wasn't going to say it.
No, it's cool. That shows what I know, really, doesn't it?
And I think I was working with Groove Rider at the time, and I was down in the studio, and I just had it on a CD with a few other tracks, and played it to him, and he was like, "Fresh, you know what? That's a bad tune, you know. You know what, Fresh? That is you know what? That's a prototype tune."
Yeah, no.
Was that a good impression?
Not really.
And I'm not one to argue with Groove, so there you go, Groove. It came out.
Right, listen. This is another tune. What is this? The little sounds like a Krust beat to me, though.
Yeah, this is for me. This is one of my all-time favourite D&B tunes. Krust, Futures Unknown.
Yeah, bad tune.
You know,
Bad
just
Bad tune.
D&B at its finest in my eyes.
We have got in the studio Maldini, Vegas, Fresh and dBridge, otherwise known as Bad Company, spinning some of the favourite tunes of the last 10 years or so. Future Unknown, Krust. This is Bad Boy Business. It's Fabio, it's Radio 1. tune. This Soul in Motion, Krust, man, for me, we were talking about scientists in this game. That guy was a true scientist, man.
Definitely.
Future Unknown from Krust. So, guys, it's really good to see you in here. And give us some shouts. Any
Yeah,
big
I've
up?
got to do a couple of shouts. I've got to shout out my girlfriend Jennifer. She's back from Thailand tomorrow. Got to shout DJ Cabby, good mate of mine. He's doing this thing for 2008. Caroline, unique artist. That's all rolling. Check her out on uniqueartist.co.uk. Yeah, our MySpace is MySpace / Bad Taste Recordings. Check out all the Upbeat stuff and everything on that. And big up the whole family.
Individually, are you guys got stuff coming out, you two?
Yeah, we're building a load of stuff. There's stuff on the Upbeats album and stuff for after that.
Wicked. And what about you, Fresh? What you got in the can?
I've actually got a track here, mate. Next single, Break
me?
the Chaos. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, if you
hell,
want, mate.
hell yeah. Bring it on, baby, bring it on. And what about you, Bridge?
Me, I'm trying to write an album, so I'm in the middle of that in a minute, just getting some of my old equipment out as well. But yeah, I want to big up my missus and Will Cortis, S Pizzle, and the Grumpy Junglist.
The Grumpy Junglist.
He knows who he is.
There's a few candidates, actually.
There's a few, isn't there?
There's a few candidates for that title.
And yeah, www.exitrecords.co.uk.
Wicked, man. What about you, Fresh? Any big ups, sir?
Yeah, big up, obviously, Adam F, Aaron, Brooks Brothers, Future Prophecies, Pendulum, Breakbeat Chaos guys, my agent Tom at Coda.
Wicked.
And yourself and Groove Rider. And my MySpace is /Fresh Bad Company.
And what about you, Bridge? What's your MySpace? Or are you going to keep that under wraps?
No, you just do www.exitrecords and it basically goes there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So listen, like before you guys go, I think, just one tune, man. I think you lot should go in and just do a little something, man. I think you should. Look, they're all gonna like, I'll get me coat. You should go. For 2008, I really think you guys should just come together for one big project, and I think that would be big, man.
Stop looking at me like that.
It's on you, D. It's on you.
He never needed me in the first place. Go on, Dan. You can do it.
You know what? It's a funny thing because we were talking about this recently and we decided that it couldn't really be a Bad Company tune unless all four of us are involved.
Yeah,
so
for real.
until we rope Darren into it, it's gonna happen.
I've been in Vegas.
I'm sorry.
Well, anyway, guys, listen. Best of luck. Best of luck for all your projects. Best of luck for 2008. And if you do end up doing a couple of tunes together, come back in 2008. Come and see us, yeah?
Cool, man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
definitely.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man, no problem. Big shout to you guys. Respect. To Bad Company, passing through. Big up to Fresh, to Maldini, Vegas, and dBridge. Track you can hear in the background is the Rufige crew, Is This Real? The Goldie remix, I'm loving that, I'm feeling that. It's Radio 1, it's Fabio, we've got the charts coming up soon. We've got big things popping. More your Facebook shouts coming up. More your Facebook shouts coming up. Went down the wrong pipe. And we're going to see if we have a new number one this week. Harder by Simon Bassline Smith and Drum Sound was number one, big in the game last week. But we'll see if the Disco Dodo has arrived. Right, I said to you I had some brand new Calibre. Check this out, I'm loving this. I think this is from his forthcoming album next year, Deepness. Couple more tracks coming up later. Big shout to my boy Phil, he's in the house representing, holding it down. And once again, big shout going out to Bad Company. Great guys, I hope that was a little insight into their world.
Statistically, you got more chance of dying on a city street than actually finishing school and having the world at your feet. Politicians don't know how to stop it. I won't be surprised if every time our children die they make a profit. Profit, 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 profit. Cause otherwise they summarize their street tactics. Believe me, police on city streets need practice. They ain't convincing anybody like they're weak actors. Parents need to understand more, need to keep active.
Radio 1.
In the slums, the kids and the guns. Where do they run to? Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Who do they turn to? Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Where do they run to? Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Who do they turn to? Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Where do they run to? Daily lives in the slums.
We love bring it back on rewind. Fabio. Rewind that 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 Fabio.
More chance of dying on a city street than actually finishing school and having the world at your feet. Politicians don't know how to stop it. I won't be surprised if every time our children die they make a profit. Profit, 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 profit. Cause otherwise they summarize their street tactics. Believe me, police on city streets need practice. They ain't convincing anybody like they're weak actors. Parents need to understand more, need to keep active.
In the slums, the kids and the guns. Where do they run to? Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Who do they turn to? Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Where do they run to? Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Who do they turn to? Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Where do they run to? Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Who do they turn to? Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Where do they run to? Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Who do they turn to?
I won't believe it's fate or their time to go when another kid's found in a resting place. Vast metropolis, but no place to home. Not a soul to turn to. Heavy burden burns a hole so deep they can't climb out. But how do you suppose? And you could take this pressure only 13 years old. Statements are bold. We need to pinpoint the moment when children's hearts turn cold.
Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Where do they run to? Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Who do they turn to? Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Where do they run to? Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Who do they turn to? Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Where do they run to? Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Who do they turn to? Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Where do they run to? Daily lives in the slums, the kids and the guns. Who do they turn to?
Answer the question of where these teenagers run to when you chase through your mother by somebody trying to burn you. Can it really be that bad young soldier that you gotta take another youth's life? Game over.
Liquid Fabio on Radio 1.
sound of Saburuko straight out of New York. A track called Can't Exhale. Right as we are closing in on 2008, we're going to upgrade next year, upgrading. And we've got a special feature hopefully coming up in February. For the whole month, we are going to be showcasing new talent on Radio 1. Some of the big names that have kind of like really blown up this year. Hopefully we're going to get the likes of Alex Perez, Lynx, and them guys to come in, do a little kind of mix thing, have a chat with them. But the hottest names for 2008 we're going to have in February. Have you got any kind of names that you want to put forward to that? Hit us up. And I'll get the address for that in a minute. Been at 8 years, still can't remember the email address. So if you've got any names that you want to kind of see, like new names that have really broken in the last year to like 18 months max, guys that have really made an impression on you and the scene, hit us up and we'll see what we can do. Because we have got like 4 or 5 names in the can right now. And this is one of the guys that we are talking about, a guy called Eveson. He's been around for a couple of years, but this year he really has made that big break. Ryder's been playing loads of his stuff and he's got a unique kind of style. But if you want to hit us up and there's any artist that you really want to see on the show, fabio@bbc.co.uk, or hit me up on Facebook, locked onto Facebook. If you haven't joined yet, go into groups, click join, Fabio and Groove Rider, locked onto Facebook, you'll be part of our crew. Right, straight after this, we've still got the chart, the One Extra and Radio 1 chart rundown for this week. We got that straight after this. Brand new from Eveson, forthcoming on Liquid V, little thing entitled Tricks. It's Fabio, it's Radio 1.
Liquid funk, the sound of Fabio on Radio 1.
Forthcoming on Liquid V, the mighty Eveson and a track entitled Tricks. Big shout to Ritesh, who put in a wicked party last week in Bristol. Myself, Ryder, Giles Peterson, Miriam Hobbs. They had some dubstep cracking off as well. I think a guy called Scream was in the house. So it was a big night for Bristol. On a Tuesday night, club was a little big. Also, High Contrast and Calibre was there. What a sick lineup. Big shout going out to Ritesh for putting that on. Respect to that. Also to all my Swerve peeps. Great to see SS and Influx in the house last week, and they absolutely smashed it in there. And all of this, and we haven't even mentioned England. We haven't even mentioned the football. I didn't mention it last week because I was so in kind of like so distraught about the whole thing. I didn't even mention it. But a little mention after the top 10. We have got the official 1Extra and Radio 1 drum and bass chart rundown coming up right now.
10.
Number 10, Majistrate and Nicol. Bill Murray on Bingo Beat, down 5.
9.
DJ SS, The Lighter on Formation, first new entry. The sound of Lynx, B-Boy Roller on Bingo, second new entry.
7.
Number 7, The Qemists and Drop Audio on Ninja Tunes, up 1.
6.
Sound of Atlantic Connection and Amen on Sonorous, second highest new entry.
5.
Number 5, still in there, 17 weeks on the chart. If We Ever on Hospital, down 2.
4.
Last week's number 1, Drum Sound and Bassline Smith, Harder on Technique, down 3.
3.
Number 3, Hazard and Distorted Minds, Mr. Happy on Players, up 1.
2.
Chasing Status, Hurt You on Ram Records, Non-Mover. So that means we've got a new number 1, people.
This week's chart topper.
And it's arrived, been out 3 days, number 1 in the chart this week. Lynx, the mighty Disco Dodo on Creative Source. Great to say that. The highest new entry this week is the Disco Dodo. Gonna let this one roll out for a minute. Back after this. It's Fabio, Radio 1, this is how we do. The official 1Extra Radio 1 drum and bass chart rundown this week. The big number 1, Disco Dodo. bass and culture. It's the Fabio. Radio 1. Radio 1. Radio 1. Radio 1. Radio 1. Radio 1. You're locked onto the Fabio on the BBC Radio 1, 97 to 99 FM. Number 1, the Mighty Lynx and Disco Dodo. Hopefully we're going to have Lynx up in the spot. Next year we're going to do a whole month of us kind of bringing you new talent, getting them to come in, spin some tunes, do their thing. And big shout going out to Lynx, and I tell you what, man, I have heard some of the album. It is absolutely incredible. Watch out for the album coming next year on Soul R. Talking about albums, another track from the forthcoming album from Calibre. Little kind of Pharrell vibe going on here. Love this tune. Bad tune. Big shout going out to Dominic, all the Belfast crew. Big up yourself. Also a big shout to all the Herbal crew, all the midweek crew, everyone that represents down at Movement, everyone that represents down at Metalheadz, everyone that represents down at Swerve, keeping the game going, keeping the music alive. It's Fabio. It's Radio 1.
Fabio on Radio 1. Fabio.
Sound of AI and the absolute classic Desperado. Love that tune to the bone. Send that one out to Charlotte. Mad love to you, baby. I know that's your tune. Right, we told you last week about the podcast. Hold on, let me turn the headphones up a bit. That's it. I told you about a brand new podcast available from One Extra. A brand new drum and bass podcast from the BBC, launched last week. It's the D&B Top 10, as heard on Bailey's show, on One Extra every Wednesday night from 10, and repeated on this show. If you've missed the chart rundown earlier, or you didn't catch the name of one of the artists in there this week, you can now download it onto your MP3 player. That is deep. Keep ahead of the game. Go to bbc.co.uk/Radio1 and head to the free downloads page and follow the instructions to bbc.co.uk One Extra. So that's one more time. If you missed the chart rundown earlier on, or you didn't catch the name of one of the artists in there this week, you can now download it onto your MP3 player. I think that's wonderful. Keep ahead of the game. Go to bbc.co.uk/One Extra and head to the free downloads page and follow the instructions. bbc.co.uk/One Extra. And you can hear the D&B Top 10, as heard on Bailey's show on One Extra each and every Wednesday night. And of course repeated on this show. So giving that some love, that is big things popping. We've got the One Extra takeover, speaking about One Extra, straight after this. Have we got Ras Kwame in the house? Yeah, we sure have. The mighty Ras Kwame. Check his show out. It's a wonderful show. Goes right across the board, man. Plays a little bit of jungle drum and bass, kind of styly. So big up to Ras Kwame. Furthermore, keep it Radio 1 24/7, baby. Best station in the world. Couple more and then I'm out. Gonna end up the show with something a little downbeat, a little funky number. Couple more before then. It's Fabio.
Radio 1.
So
deep one tonight, man. We're getting on a deep one. Saturday night, you know how we do. As I said before, Rash Kwame coming up next. We are running out of time, baby, running out of time. Do you know the other week, right, I sat down and watched the England game. And you know, life is really odd. It's got a way of kicking you up the arse. After that Israel game, everyone was like, yeah, well, you know, it's a foregone conclusion. It was never that. Football nowadays, there's no easy games. And even when we went 2-2 up, you just had that feeling, didn't you? Just had that feeling with England. As long as I've been, let's forget about 66, as long as I've been born, when it comes to the big occasion and when we really need to produce, that kind of stuff happens. And it can't be just the managers. We've had numerous great managers from Alf Ramsey all the way through to McLaren, and we still just can't seem to get by. You know what my theory is, and this is the God honest truth. I know we're running out of time, I should have mentioned this earlier. English footballers need to play abroad. You know, as much as I love the Premiership, it's kind of like the difference between chess and drafts. Drafts is like lovely to play, but chess you need a bit of brain power for, man. And as much as I'd sit down and love watching the Premiership, man, I don't know. I think the English team needs a bit more guile and a bit more players playing in the European game that know how they play. It's a completely different thing. You sit down and watch Italian football and watch English football. English football's a lot more exciting, but Italy they're the world champions, and the last European Champions League was won by AC Milan. So it's either, do you want to be boring or do you want to win things? Or do you want to kind of play fast football, kick it up to the man, you know, like 5-3, 5-4, really exciting football, but don't win anything. That's the way I see it. That's my point. Fabio for England manager. That's the way it should be. Even Phil knows that. He's agreeing with me. Saying, hell yeah! Right, a couple more. Maybe we won't have time to play all of this tune, but I absolutely love this tune. A guy called Random Movement. He's very infrequent, but always takes time and comes out with some absolutely wicked pieces. Little thing called Can't Resist. One more after this one.
So what's holding you back? So what's holding you back?
Right, we're going to have to cut this tune and play more of this tune on my next show, which I think will be next week. So it's Fabio FM for real, baby. But that's it from me tonight. Remember that you can listen to the shows anytime you want on Listen Again, and check full track listings online. Head to our pages at bbc.co.uk/Radio1. Next week we've got Marky up in the piece, so I am definitely going to be here. We've got Marky here to join us. and he's going to be coming by, spinning a few tracks, telling us about what he's been doing. He's been real busy. I know he's got the label popping off, and he's got a few really big projects on the go. And this track, actually, Can't Resist, is on Innerground. So we got Marky in the house next week. In the meantime, thanks very much for listening. Up after me is the One Extra Takeover. Then at 5 o'clock, we've got Ras Kwame. He'll be talking to T2. Got that massive hit that has galvanised the garage scene again. Heartbroken. So they're going to be up in the house at 5 o'clock. It's big. Radio 1 is big. No matter what time of night, day, morning, we've always got the big guests. We've always got big things popping. Right, last tune now. Going to end up the show. Last week we drew some Roy Ayers out. Wonderful tune. I had to give a big shout to Trevor Nelson and all the original old school cats, Charles Peterson and guys like that. I'm going to play you something a little bit, I don't know how to describe it. It's a bit dubsteppy, a bit broken beatish. Something from a drum and bass artist called Mutt. A little thing called Halftime. This is Fabio saying peace out. Thank you very much. Up in the house next week, DJ Marky.
Trust on Radio 1.